Welcome to the Gospel Road. We're going to look at Ecclesiastes 7. I'm going to go right into it. Kind of been a long week. We'll see if I can get through this one today. End of tax season. We see all the sun. I mean, come on. It's just a fantastic time of year, right? I know everybody getting the cabin fever. Need to get outside. Seeing a lot more runners as it's getting warmer here in the Midwest. All right, Ecclesiastes 7 says, a good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of birth. It is better to go to a house of mourning than go to a house of feasting, for this is the end of all mankind, and the living will lay it to heart. Sorrow is better than laughter, for by sadness the heart is made glad. The heart of the wise is the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth. It is better for a man to hear the rebuke of the wise than to hear the song of fools. For as the clanging of thorns under a pot, so is the laughter of fools. This also is vanity. Surely oppression drives the wise into madness, and a bribe corrupts the heart. Better is the end of a thing than its beginning, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. Be not quick in your spirit to be angry, for anger lodges in the heart of fools. Say not, why were the former days better than these? For it is not from wisdom that you ask this. Wisdom is good with an inheritance and an advantage to those who see the sun. For the protection of wisdom is like the protection of money, and the advantage of knowledge is that wisdom perceives the life of him who has it. Consider the work of God, who can make straight what he has made crooked. In the day of prosperity be joyful, and in the day of adversity consider God has made the one as well as the other, so that man may not find out anything that will be after him. In my vain life, I have seen everything. There is a righteous man who perishes in the righteousness, and there is a wicked man who prolongs his life in his evil doing. Be not overly righteous, and do not make yourself too wise. Why should you destroy yourself? Be not overly wicked, neither be a fool. Why should you die before your time? It is good that you should take hold of this, and from that withhold your hand. From the one who fears God shall come out from both of them. Wisdom gives strength to the wise man, more than 10 rulers who are in a city. Surely there is not a righteous man on earth who does good and never sins. Do not take to heart all things that people say, lest you hear your servant cursing you. Your heart knows that many times you yourself have cursed others. All this I have tested by wisdom. I have said, I will be wise. But it was for me that which was then is far off and deep, very deep. Who can find it out? I turn my heart to know and to search out and to seek wisdom and to scheme of things and to know the wickedness of folly and the foolishness that is madness. And I find something more bitter than death, the woman whose heart is snares and nets and whose hands are fetters. He who pleases God escapes her, but the sinner is taken by her. Behold, this is what I found, says the preacher, while adding one thing to another to find the scheme of things, which my soul has sought repeatedly, but I have not found one man among 1,000. I have found but a woman among all these I have not found. See this alone, I found that God made man upright, but they have sought out many schemes. Ecclesiastes 7, that's what we are looking at today. So many things. I mean, a good name. You hear about this a lot when you're doing business and when you are, out dealing with business, personal. I mean, what is your name? How do people perceive you when your name is uttered, spoken? When you are thought about by other people? When they're having that conversation. And it's not saying that you need to worry about what they're saying about you, but you need to worry about the character you are showing to others. So when they have that conversation, with the business you are in, when they speak of you, do they speak that you are very knowledgeable, you are very wise, you are a person they can come to talk to come to better understanding? Same thing with family. I mean, are you someone that's trusted? I know I have to ask myself these questions daily, and I'm sure I fail at them more than I succeed, but that happens. And then it's okay, because we're still moving forward. We're still trying to do the best that we can, but it's also understanding that gaining knowledge and using that wisdom, and just because you know that does not mean you always need to share it. And that's something I even need to work with on myself, knowing when to shut my mouth. I'm not always the best at doing that. But it's still being the best that I can be, so I'm able to help others when they are asking for that, when they're asking to make themselves better. What is it that I know that I can share with you to help you really grow in your life and help you grow with what you're doing? Wisdom goes a long way, but we also have to be careful that we're not taking that and letting that wisdom basically go to our head. Being, as it said in Ecclesiastes, being overly righteous, being, more of a fool. It's really finding that balance that you're able to share. It also, not becoming angry quickly. I mean, a lot of times when and I know I fall into this more often than not, something, someone is doing something wrong, and then it just angers you. You're not able to let that go. And then you get frustrated, and then you get annoyed. And I tell you, that's one of the biggest things that I fail with. And sometimes I slip and open my mouth. And again, one of the biggest things that I fail with. I need to learn to keep my mouth shut. Because not always, just because you sit there and point something out and you tell someone what's going on, that doesn't always mean they're going to listen. But at the same time, as me, we all need to be open to criticism. We need to be open to understand how we can be better at what we do. Also, we all need to be careful about the information that is given to us. A lot of times, you have people blowing smoke. They're going to always say whatever they want to tell you. Me, being in radio all these years, as always, I am my own worst critic. And in most of us, when you do anything with public speaking or getting in front of others, we are our own worst critic. But you will have people that come up to you and just tell you great things. Number one, they might not have the knowledge to know what is good or bad. They liked it, which is great. But at the same time, as you take that as information, you take that as a piece that then can be applied to the bigger picture. As I talk to one person, it's just like me doing this podcast every week. Not really sure who I'm listening to, and a lot of times I'm just doing this just to flap my gums. And like I said, I do this more for me than I do it for anyone else. I really have no specific target or person that I'm reaching out to. I'll be honest. I just, that's not, which is totally opposite of being in radio where, I need to have my specific listener. I need to know who I'm talking to. I need to know what is on their mind. I need to know what they're talking about. So I'm talking about what they want me to talk about to help them. And that's really not what I'm doing with this. But I know a lot of people listen, and I get a lot of compliments saying thank you. And I appreciate that. But again, looking at that big picture, it's being able to look at that whole piece and how you're able to bring it together. Bring in this tool here and this tool here and put that together to know that I'm doing the best that I can. We all have to use research in our business. We all need to use research to really understand where we're going, what we need to be doing to do the best that we can to grow. Businesses are looking to grow. Businesses are looking to, we need to support ourselves. We need to make money. And we have to use all those bits of information. Just like being a parent, you're raising a child, and you get into that as a young adult. You get married and you have a child and you have no clue what you're doing because you've never been a parent before. Yes, you have your parents, but how many times do we look at our parents? Some do and gain information from that. Some, not really a great example from the parents that we had, so we're not able to use any information that was given from them except do not do this when I have kids. Which, as was said to me one time, even the bad experiences are going to teach you how to do things better, how to be better. So you can always learn from everything in your life, no matter what that is. But our name, my name is important. When people think of that, when people think or speak or have that conversation, or they say, hey, I need this to be done. I have a great person that I think you need to talk to. It's having those conversations. It's really kind of holding on to your anger. Doing the best that you can to not be overly righteous, not being overly confident, because that can just push someone away to not really, at that point, you're arrogant. And people do not want to listen to you because you have too much confidence, as well as, not having the knowledge or the wisdom and speaking like you think you do, to then you keep opening your mouth and then no one wants to listen to you because, they have no clue what they're talking about. They're full of it. That's a fine line. And I'm sure I've fallen on both sides, and I guarantee you I still fall on both sides. Finding that balance to be able to do the best that we can to help others be the best that they can, so we can all be the best that we can be. Building up one another. And it's what I always talk about with this. It's, that love, that unconditional love for anyone that we meet, to go, I want you to be the best that you can be for you, for your family, for the company. How can you succeed? As I am also trying to succeed. Ecclesiastes 7, that is what I looked at today. And as I always suggest, and it does not matter what you believe. I don't care. I don't care if you're an atheist, if you're Islamic, if you're Jewish, if you're whatever your beliefs are. We're not having a spiritual, we're not having a dogmatic conversation. We're just having a conversation. We are all in a specific part in our life, and we're all at a place that we're trying to grow and to do better. All I can do is encourage you to read this for yourself and see how it speaks to you. See what it says. You are at this point in your life, and you need to make that next step. Again, there's no one's going to be where I am. No, there might be some, but for the most part, I am where I am. There's some that are ahead of me that are doing better. There's some that are still trying to, find that way to move up. The purpose of all this is just to help others be the best that they can be. That's all it is. It's really that simple. But read it for yourself. See what it says to you to help you grow to be a better person. Professionally, personally, spiritually. Whatever way that you're taking that look. Ecclesiastes 7. Thank you for listening to The Gospel Road. Have a great day. God bless.